Today I wanted to talk about one of the more exciting comebacks that I've seen in the last few years. And no, it's definitely not Tiger Woods. It's actually New York State Governor, former Governor Eliot Spitzer. I don't know if you've been paying attention lately, but he's really been popping up on the radar a lot lately. He's actually been guest anchoring for MSNBC. He's been writing a lot more than just his Slate column lately. And I think his comeback has been incredibly interesting to follow, and is something that a lot of PR and communications professionals can learn from. So here are 5 lessons that I'm taking away from Eliot Spitzer's comeback, and maybe you guys might come up with some yourselves. Number 1 is that sometimes things aren't worth spinning. As you guys probably remember, in 2008, Spitzer was caught up in a prostitution ring as a customer and thus resigned as governor of New York State. When he disappeared, a lot of people assumed he was gone forever, and Spitzer didn't fight him on that thought. When he resigned, he obviously apologized and then just disappeared entirely. Sometimes things are so bad, especially in crisis communication, that it's just not worth trying to spin. Not every apology has to come with a postscript. And Spitzer was a great example where he owned his mistake and didn't try to fight it. It wasn't about spinning it back to what you wanted people to think about your brand. It was about allowing people, allowing your followers, your fans, to be upset with you and letting them own that anger and not try and argue with them about that. Number 2 that Spitzer did really well, I think, is don't fight the storm, wait for better weather. Especially in this country, people have a very short attention span. You know, we're all upset with Tiger Woods until we find out Sandra Bullock's husband has been off cheating. You know, people do forget things very quickly, and sometimes it's not always necessary to run right out there and fight everything off the bat, because people will move on and they'll become a lot more able to embrace your brand again if you let that anger fade. Spitzer did that really well. He disappeared for about 8 months. He allowed people to be upset, and then he just kind of slowly dipped his toe back in the water and kind of moved on. He didn't have to fight it when people were most upset. So that's a really good one, I think, is that, you know, you don't always fight the storm, wait for better weather. Number 3, and this is the big one that I just mentioned about him dipping his toe in the water. Number 3 is the best comebacks don't start with a splash. You don't need to wave a flag and tell everyone, hey, I'm back, I'm coming back, or re-emerging, we're shifting our brand. Sometimes the best thing to do is just go slow and steady. After about 8.5 months, Spitzer started writing a column for Slate. He started doing a couple other guest columns, doing guest commentary. He started doing guest commentary on MSNBC. He made some appearances on Bill Maher, a few other shows. And then all of a sudden, I just noticed a couple weeks ago, Spitzer's now a regular guest anchor on MSNBC. He actually anchors hour-long programs when their anchors are unavailable. So this has been something that's been slowly emerging over about 1.5 years now, and it really took me to the other day to realize, you know, hold on a second, this guy is already back in a big way. And I think that's when you're coming back from something so drastic as being caught in a prostitution ring, it's really important to come back slowly. And I think he's done a really good job with that, and I think that's actually a lesson that can be used in a lot of other situations as well. And taking time and going slowly brings us to number 4 for me, which is building trust takes time. Spitzer's been putting himself in a position of authority, writing a column first for online publications, and then being a guest anchor, and now he was on MSNBC regularly talking about the things that he's interested in, whether it's Wall Street, the economy, you know, even healthcare, and he's building back that trust that he is an authority, that he does know what he's talking about, and he's doing it slowly. He's not coming back and thinking that he can own the same kind of place that he did 3 years ago as governor, or even before as an attorney general. You know, he's really building that trust back up, and people are remembering that, yes, this guy still is incredibly smart, even if he made such an incredibly stupid decision while in office. And then number 5, the final one for me, is it's not about coming back. If anybody notices, Spitzer hasn't talked about running for political office again, and if I had to guess personally, I don't think he will. I certainly don't think he'll ever run for governor again, and I would be surprised if he ever runs for elected office. And that's why number 5 is so key, I think, is it's not about coming back, it's about having a second chance. And that's a lesson that can be used in any crisis communication, in PR campaigns, for brand, you know, re-emerging brands. I think it's the idea that when it's about a comeback, it's about a second chance. You don't have to go back to exactly where you were beforehand. Spitzer doesn't have to go and become governor again to be back. He can do anything he wants. You know, the options are endless, and it's open road. So it's important when it comes to a comeback to design and draw your own map. Don't follow back to where you were years ago. So embrace the comeback, and if anything, get that positive experience out of it, that you can go somewhere else in a new direction with that re-emerging brand. So those are just 5 takeaways that I've had from Eliot Spitzer's comeback. I mean, there's, I'm sure, a lot more, and obviously I totally understand if people aren't a fan of him. I can't say on a personal level I am either, but obviously I think it's a really amazing comeback. It's been incredibly smart. He's been incredibly patient, And there's actually a lot of lessons in there, I think, that people should take note of. So if you guys can think of anything else that you find interesting about Spitzer's comeback, let me know. Maybe I missed a couple, or you can come with a list of your own. Hope you guys are doing well.